everyone, thank you so much for clicking on this Netflix review. The fact that you are willing to sacrifice a few minutes out of your day to consume my content really does mean the world to me. For those of you that are unaware, I review everything that gets released on Netflix. So if you're ever curious about whether something is good, bad, completely mediocre, come to my channel and I will let you know. So guys, we're going to be talking about the new Netflix release, Squid Game, which was actually incredible in its simplicity. This was definitely a story that took me by surprise. But guys, I've really been enjoying Korean dramas lately. I mean, you can see if you look at my review for Sweet Home, I love that as well. And this is incredibly different to Sweet Home. The only similarity being that they're both Korean dramas. This is a completely different property, but I would highly recommend it straight off the bat to people that love thrillers, that love suspense, that like to be on the edge of their seats. But what is the story of Squid Game? Ultimately, we follow a diverse cast of characters. All of them are down on their luck, broke. And they've all been approached by this organization saying, hey, we can help you out, we can give you the money you need to survive. All you need to do is participate in a few childhood games. Sounds simple, sounds innocent. It's not. Straight away we see that there are consequences to failing these games, and the punishment is to be eliminated from life. They die, they're killed. And so we get a great juxtaposition, a great contrast of something innocent like playing a childhood game with the consequences of death. It's a really interesting, unique concept that has been done a few times in different ways, but never to the juxtapositioning that I've seen in this show. Nothing where it's so innocent results in something that is so opposite. So we've got some incredibly engaging characters and they're really performed well by the actors. Of course, you're going to have to choose between subbed and dubbed, but I'll say there's always an argument about this whether subbed or dubbed is better. Both were good. I watched some episodes with subbed, some episodes with dubbed, and thankfully the voiceover actors did the roles quite well and the original performers were fantastic. So no matter what you choose to go with, you're going to have good performances that you can watch and engage. But the characters are what keep you coming back episode after episode. You want to see them succeed. We've got some villainous characters, we've got some heroic characters, we've got some grey characters. Honestly, I loved all of them, except for there was this one guy, he was just the worst. He was just a jerk. But that's besides the point. He's well written. All of these characters are well written. And some characters are annoying, but that doesn't mean they weren't well written characters. Everyone here was useful in the plot as well. We all got specific narrative beats out of all of them, specific narrative elements out of them, or they were used to really rile up the audience and get them emotionally invested in one way or another. Everything worked so well together. Then we have the score and the sound design. I've never heard such an incredibly innocent tune that can match such a dark tone so well. The actual, I wouldn't necessarily call it a theme song, but the recurring theme that they use throughout the series is incredibly unusual. I haven't heard anything like it. And it serves the plot of the story really, really well. I think this series also does a good job of capturing desperation. These characters are desperate. They are so desperate for this money that they are willing to choose to participate in games where the consequence is death, just so that they can survive. And it's also a great representation of how people view the world, actually. If people are desperate enough to put their lives on the line, what is the quality of life that they were experiencing out in the real world? That they turn their backs on the real world to pursue this money. How bad could their lives have possibly been? And that's a question you've got to ask yourself. These characters know what they were going to get themselves into. They know that the consequence for failing was death, yet they were willing to pursue it. Or you could also look at it as a reflection of human greed. How desperate are we for money? How do we let money control our lives? So there's a lot you can look at in this series in regards to the human psyche, what we pursue, what we chase after. It's a really good series to just analyze humanity. And I'll also say this, for a show where the consequence is death, it's not large and bombastic and over the top. It's contained. They're not using death as a vehicle for entertainment. Death is just a consequence of the story. And I thought that was great as well. We're not using death to try and invest viewers into the story. We're using death to tell our story because it's a large part of the story, because it's a human story. And I thought that was great. But guys, thank you so much for watching my review. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, leave a like, jump across to my community tab. You'll see I put a poll there because I want to know what you guys thought of this. So go vote, and I hope to see you guys again in another review.